are back. It is Gamblers Hub. I am Todd.
Joel.
And Mark.
Mark is back. We're going to have some fantasy football going on towards the end of this little podcast. It is bowl weekend, college bowl weekend. We didn't do too good last week.
No, we actually got kind of destroyed. I got kind of destroyed.
I did too.
I mean, it was a rough week.
I
Everyone
lost
had them,
$750. I picked three.
Yeah, 0 for
Three
3.
teams,
I was 0 for 3.
250 or 275, 275, 275.
And ironically, I was gonna pick some of your golden picks, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit. And I probably would have gone 0 for 5 if we had 5 golden picks.
As I've been saying to all you guys, we're here to make you money. We will not win each week, but we will be just around 70% on our picks. We are that good. Sometimes we're wrong, but that's the way the ball bounces. So let's go into how we are going to make you some money. We've got our first game is going to be on Friday at, is that 6 o'clock Mountain Time?
6 o'clock Mountain Time. We got ourselves Missouri versus Ohio State in the something or other bowl, Cotton Bowl.
Now, as we all know, I make my picks a little differently than these guys. These guys really know what they're talking about each player. I kind of know some of the mafia, you might say, secrets to betting sports. And, the first thing that comes to my mind on this strange game, and I thought I was following college football the whole season, but doesn't that number seem strange when you say Missouri, Ohio State, only 1.5? Isn't?
Oh, I got 3.
I got -3.
Yeah, it's 3 now.
So it's -3 for Ohio State.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even that number doesn't. I mean, so tell me what I'm missing about Missouri.
Missouri is in the SEC, and they had 2 losses. Their only 2 losses were to LSU and to Georgia. They beat Tennessee, they beat Florida, they beat Arkansas, they beat Kansas State, they beat Vanderbilt doesn't count as a good win, but they beat Kentucky when they were ranked. They have the chops to hang with them, and they come from minor league, pro league.
Here's a problem, and this is the first time this has come up. I have a client that is an extremely good client, and he loves Ohio State, so there is no way that I can actually pick Missouri. I can't pick this game at all, so I'm going to let you guys talk about it.
I think Ohio State's the better team. I mean, yeah, I think they were the better team all season.
Then I'm going to go with Ohio State.
Yeah.
Money line, no points.
Yeah, money line sounds right.
Yeah.
Their only loss was the big game at Michigan. And that's nothing to be sad about. They beat Notre Dame when they were in the top 10. They beat Penn State when they were in the top 10. They were overrated, but that's besides the point. They should win. They should win pretty handily. I think Missouri is a good team, but I think Ohio State's just a better team.
Got it. Let's go to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I remember when bowl games were just bowl games. The Citrus Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl. But we have got the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Mississippi at...
Sunday.
Not at, because it's, by the way, all neutral fields. I know you guys know that. Okay, so we got Mississippi, Penn State -3.5. What's your thought?
I like Ole Miss. I think, man, I watched only a couple of Penn State games this year, and I was just left thoroughly unimpressed.
Yeah.
They were. They were the games I watched. They were playing good teams like Ohio State, but they just look so overmatched against a good team that I think Ole Miss from the SEC does the trick.
And what's your thought on points? You're going to take the points, or are you going to money line it and try to make some money?
I'll probably money line it on an individual bet, but parlay with the points.
Got it. Okay.
Why not?
Okay. So Okay. So
the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. That's a thing. Wow.
No, they're not talking about what we think they're talking.
No, I'm just Trans Perfect must be a.
No, I mean, what is it?
Brand. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either, to be honest.
I'm looking up Trans Perfect.
Is it some subliminal Illuminati
thing? No, it's a translation company. Interesting.
Oh.
They're translating
perfectly.
Yes.
But they didn't translate it perfectly to me.
They didn't translate a good Yeah.
So what is the game?
That's
now?
why they have
Yeah,
Auburn
that
and
one.
that's
Okay.
why they have Auburn and Maryland and not Georgia, Florida State. Like
Okay,
Capital One team
Auburn
does.
and Maryland. I have no comment. I don't like
skip
Auburn.
it.
Let's skip the Auburn. And okay, so let's go to
Thank you, algorithm.
Georgia,
Thank you, algorithm.
Florida. Georgia, Florida.
Georgia, Florida State. How
Yeah.
big is that number?
Yeah.
Where are we at
minus
now?
18.
17 and a half?
19.
Oh, we went up to 19.
It's at. I mean, ESPN bet has it at 19.
And what do you think?
That's a huge number, and they're going to cover it. Georgia's way better than
Yeah.
Florida State, even as undefeated, and how
Yeah.
Florida State certainly has a beef to not be in the playoff, but they're outmatched. They're going to get 50-10 or something like that. This is going to be a.
I'm on Georgia the
absolute
same way.
schlepping.
Yeah.
I take Georgia, give the points. Okay, so Barstool Sports Bowl. Have you ever heard of that?
Bars, yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
the ones that sold
That's
the
the
gambling to ESPN. They got a sports site.
Okay,
And then he bought it
okay.
back for like half or something.
Eh,
Something crazy.
Toledo
billionaires
versus
do.
Wyoming.
I don't care. Wait, Toledo's underdogs and they're 11-2, huh?
Mhm.
Do we see opportunity there?
Sure.
Nah. Wyoming looks good.
That's a weird one.
Yeah.
Skip it.
Okay. So, Wisconsin.
Yeah, January 1st, the big day that used to be. Remember, you used to wake up and
Yeah.
watch all day long
Right.
college football from start to finish.
Right.
Now there's only 5 games.
Mhm.
That's disappointing.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, so you guys keep watching, I got some inside information on something you've all been wanting to know in NFL.
Mm.
What is wrong with Kansas City? Is Taylor Swift part of an Illuminati kind of weird manipulative thing? And is Taylor Swift's boyfriend gonna join World Wrestling Entertainment because Vince McMahon wants to say something on the script? I've got secret information for you guys.
2 things at once.
Yeah. 2 things at once.
Just remember, things come in 12s. I'm not speaking no weird numerology thing here. Okay, now, so, what game are we on now?
I've got ourselves the RealiQuest Bowl. The
RealiQuest Bowl.
RealiQuest Bowl.
What does that mean?
It's this prestigious, bowl.
But what does that mean?
Reality.
Reality?
Realia.
Reality
I gotta
Quest.
Google this one too.
It all sounds like that movie Vanilla Sky. Remember with Tom Cruise?
I think we're all
Gets into that.
in the vanilla sky.
Some
Something.
kind of color, some type of flavor. I don't know if it's vanilla.
RealiQuest is a force
By the
multiplier
way-
of security teams to increase visibility, decrease complexity, and manage risk through the gray matter security operations. I still don't know what they do. We're gonna go with a tech company.
Okay, so what game is it?
LSU and Wisconsin.
Okay, well this is more you. I'm not going to touch that game, but what do you think of it?
I mean, when in doubt, take an SEC team
Yeah.
is kind of my thinking. It's only 10 points. Wisconsin only 7 wins. I take LSU. I think that looks pretty solid actually. Now
And let's
looking
put a
at it.
graphic up right now. When in doubt, take an SEC team. That's some inside information on the gambling of how you make money. You write these little things down. Next season, we're going to start from the beginning, and we are going to make you real money. Now, oh, by the way, could you subscribe and like us? I'd appreciate it. Okay,
Please.
so you're not paid. Do you like anyone in that game?
I like LSU. Yeah, I'll
LSU.
take
Well,
I'll take
LSU sounds better.
-10, no cut. But I like LSU as well.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
think it's
the-
under 56. I don't think they get.
Wisconsin low scoring.
Yeah.
I'm going to individualize my golden pick in the bowl games as one pick. Now, I'm at 78.5% on over-under picks for college football. And I have been picking unders because I know how to pick them. Now, I am going to pick my golden college bowl game, Iowa versus Tennessee. The total that I have is 36.5.
Yep.
And I am going to not go under, but go over.
Whoa! I don't understand. Why? Oh, it's that number. It's that magic cusp number that you like to go over.
No, but this specifically in a bowl game, you're going to have a lot of the dumb money on the under because they're betting the bowl game. But let's just say that it is really going to look under, especially in that first quarter. and even going possibly into the whole first half. But it is going to go over 36.5. I'm laying 1,100 to make 1,000. I'm probably going to make a side bet on that one where I'm going to tone it down and take 36.5 to 33.5, 34. But you can play it safe. Bet a hun for me on the over. Over, not under, on that Iowa game. Oh yeah, Iowa disappoints the under people on the Super Bowl of college football day. That's my pick. And you? Do you like the game?
Not really.
Do you have an opinion on the over under?
I thought you were going to go under, and now my head's all aflutter. I think Tennessee probably wins that, but that 6.5 is a lot. I'll probably stick away from that one. But like I said,
they're going to win. They're not going to cover
from
this.
School.
I'm going to take money line also, not parlay it, separate them. But and I don't love money lining Tennessee, but it's going to go over. And it's not going under.
Okay.
So there we go.
I don't get into the college much, as we all know, but I like Iowa winning, and I like the under because of the weather possibility.
What? Weather possibility in the Citrus Bowl?
Are you talking about in Iowa? Oh, it's not in Iowa, is it?
No.
It's in...
See, that's why I don't
It's
do
in
that.
Orlando.
Never mind.
63.
All neutral fields on bowl games. All neutral.
See, there you go. I still like it.
You like what?
Stubbornly doing Iowa.
Now I gotta stick with it because
Yeah.
I said it like a jackass.
Yeah. Think
So
before
now-
you speak.
Well, I did. I thought it'd be cold in Iowa. I looked it up, then I realized
They're not even the home team.
not even the home team.
Let's go into a real fun game, the Rose Bowl. Everyone loves the Rose Bowl. You got the Rose Parade in the morning. It's a huge game. It's Alabama versus Michigan. Michigan's -1.5. Your thought?
When in doubt, take that SEC school. I think Alabama's a better team.
I'm on Alabama, and I'll tell you my play. You got college bowl games once a year. I mean, it's spread out on a few days.
Yeah.
But it happens, one time a year. And this is a known statistical reality that I only am going to say once a year because college bowl games are only once a year. Small dog, big teams, bowl game, Alabama, money line, +125. Winner! Winning!
Yeah, little less energy from me on that one, but I like Alabama as well. I think they're better. Michigan, they're good, but I think they got a bad first game there in that playoff.
Okay, we'll move on to the Sugar Bowl. Texas, Washington. Washington last look +4.5.
Yeah, same. I like Washington +4.5. I think they play close games. They hang with teams. They are good enough to hang with them. Will they win? I'm not sure, but 4.5. I like that idea that they got a little buffer zone. And they've impressed me. I kind of was hating on Washington a little bit all year, to be honest with you. I was kind of, skewing towards the Oregon, USC, and the Pac-12. But they proved me wrong time and time again. They beat Oregon twice. They beat everybody. They're undefeated. And I think we should put some respect behind that. I know Texas is from the South, and we got to love the South, but they're not in the SEC yet, so I don't have to bet on them yet.
Are you money lining it or just taking the points?
I think I'll do the same thing as I was doing with Ole Miss, and I'll do a single bet on the money line to get that plus, and then I'll just parlay the plus points.
On that game, I'm not going to play it, but I'm saving the bets, those other bets, and putting it all into that over on Iowa.
So we skipped Oregon and Liberty.
Right. Now this is an interesting one.
It is an
Your
interesting
thoughts
one.
on Liberty?
I mean, they're coming over from the FBC.
I've never heard of Liberty.
Well,
really.
they just transferred over from the FBC or whatever, the second tier league, so they can't play in the championship game, even though they're undefeated. They couldn't be qualified for that one. But they sure beat the hell out of that division that they're in, if you can call it a division. But that's why they're dogs, because they haven't played anybody. And this is the
Is
first
the
time
number 17 and a half still?
It's 17 even at this point.
So
But,
it went down to 17 from 17 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, if Oregon has their dogs with them, if they're not going to like pull their players out, I see no reason why they shouldn't whoop them up pretty good.
That number, first time seeing the name Liberty in a bowl game. I haven't seen that before.
It's a little weird.
I'm taking the 17 points. It's almost an interesting thought to bump it up, but I get this feeling that it looks a little too obvious that Oregon's going to kill them.
Yes, that's true.
It looks so obvious to me because I've never heard of this Liberty team that I'm taking Liberty in the points. I like that game.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a tough one, and it's coming out of my bizarre school of gambling, and I do like it a bit because it's just so, when you look at the words Oregon Liberty, it's like Oregon's going to kill them. And what I have found over time in sports gambling is the more obvious, and it's got to happen, it doesn't happen. So that's my thought on taking Liberty plus the points. Have we covered all of the college football?
Yeah, that we know of.
All right. NFL. Let's start with Detroit at Dallas. Dallas -6. Dallas is not the team I thought they were, but in this game, I like them winning.
I like them winning too. Detroit clinched the division. I don't think they're going to have quite. I mean, they do have that little. They're fighting for the second seed, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to be 2 or 3 no matter what, and they're going to get to play one of the wild cards. So
There's a little bit in it for them too.
Yeah, in Dallas, they need it.
You don't see a lot of teams lay down even once they're in anymore. That's kind of a thing of the past, I think. I don't know. You don't know. People tend to. I think Belichick and New England and the Patriots kind of changed that. So if they're winning, they're going to really win. So I think Detroit shows up.
You think so?
Yeah.
6 points, too much?
Yeah, too much. I think. Yeah, Dallas takes that one, covers the 6. I got the under though. If you're interested.
53 and a half.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't know it was 53 and a half. So, once again, not to go up against you on purpose.
Yeah.
But I have a strategy that I use looking at numbers and teams, and I like the over 53 and a half. And I'm going to tell you why in this case. 53 and a half is put up sometimes because, of course, the offenses and defenses are showing that it's going to be a high-scoring game. But 53 and a half also scares off dumb money and makes people think, oh my God, it's going to be a hard number to cover on the over. And because it's so hard to cover, I'm taking the over.
All right.
I'm taking the over, and actually...
But it sounds like we all agree Dallas.
I think Dallas...
We all agree on Dallas.
Whether they get that 6 points or not is another matter.
Okay.
But yeah, they're undefeated at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rams at Giants. Giants are getting 6.5.
Rams look really good lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Rams look good, and it's a fairly large number for a road team. I like the money line on it.
Giants switched quarterbacks, did they not?
That's the only hang up. Yep.
Because you never know when that new
They
quarterback
got Tyrod Taylor's back.
Right.
I like it. I've
And
always liked
he's good.
it.
He's dynamic. He's as electric as it gets. You got a number of wide receivers in New York and the tight end that can do some damage. I wouldn't sleep on New York. I'm not saying they're going to win, but
6.5, right?
Yeah, I don't like the points, but I do like the
5.5.
money line on Rams to win the game.
Yeah, Rams been looking good, and they're solid in that playoff mix. So yeah. Oof,
I mean, it's minus 5.5.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. If
So
it's 5.5. Sorry.
yeah,
5.5.
so it was 6.5. Okay, and now it's 5.5.
mm-hmm.
I'm
Over-under is
going.
43.5.
I'm going with the Rams still.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, money line Rams. I mean, I don't love it. It's not a golden pick, but I'm going to take it.
Here's the other-
Stafford's playing his butt off. Too.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is that the Rams need this win because if they lose this one, then they have to play at San Francisco in the last week, and they'll have to win that one, and the 49ers will have to win that one to get the 1 seed. So they gotta win this game this week if they want to make the playoffs.
Good point.
Okay, up to the next game. And Joel, your team, your favorite team, San Francisco, how did that happen? In your opinion, how did Baltimore come into San Francisco and just terrorize them?
I mean, they have a good defensive scheme. I think they let them win. Set them up for the Super Bowl. They didn't want to show them all their secrets. I think they wanted to...
Could afford the loss.
Just play... Yeah, they can afford the loss. They can afford to lose one game, and this was it. And
what's interesting is we both know that teams don't win against another team 2 times that often.
Yeah.
And so that by San Francisco losing, and then they go to the Super Bowl and were to play Baltimore, it's better chances for San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think they just didn't give their fullest effort. I think if they really, really, really wanted to win, it would have been a much closer game. I'm not saying they would have won for sure, or they would have lost for sure, but it would have been a different game. They knew they had this 1-game buffer zone, and they kind of just sort of coasted.
Okay, so we got this game this week. We got San Francisco at Washington with a huge number of 13.5 given to Washington. I simply am taking San Francisco minus 13.5. I'm not buying any points. They come back after that loss, freaked out, and just go crazy on Washington.
I agree. They're going to go bonkers, and the Commanders are switching quarterbacks as well, Jacoby Brissett. But I don't think it's going to matter.
Pretty good.
No, I think the 49ers handle their business because they need to handle their business, and they're going to.
Okay, Vegas and Indianapolis. I have no opinion on that game.
Vegas has a chance? How did this happen?
I don't know what happened to them in the locker room.
Like all of a sudden, like from the Chargers game and this last week against the Chiefs, they look halfway decent and they've got a shot at the playoffs. Indianapolis, same sort of deal. They lost to Atlanta last week. That was ugly.
It's too close.
What's the line on this one? It's
Minus
3.5 for Indy.
Well, it was 3.
Yeah.
Give me the Raiders. 3.5. It's 3.5. I'll take the Raiders plus 3.5.
The Raiders go into Indy and walk away with the win.
They walk away with the win, or at least go down to a last-second field goal.
I hope you're wrong for the Broncos' sake, but I feel the same way.
I don't think either of those teams are making the playoffs,
Yeah,
so I think it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
So
matter.
have them win, get a worse draft pick.
There you go.
Right?
I want to interject this. The reason I pass on some of the games, even though I'm not betting or whatever, and I'm saying this to you guys, is that I find that picking as least amount of teams, but you have the most amount of confidence is the best way. And again, my way is not the only way. Joel doesn't do it the way I do it, but I tend to like to skip games that I think have a 50-50 coin toss chance. And this way, I hit a little bit more on the end of the year money. When it comes down to making the cash, that's what ends up making me the dollars. Sometimes I just avoid questionable games. So your thought on that, Joel?
No, you got to avoid questionable games. If you're gonna flip a coin, you might as well go to a casino and just put some money on black or red.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of sports gambling is that you use your knowledge and your expertise to skew it to have some sort of house advantage.
You're out, yeah.
Yeah. So like if you don't feel comfortable, here's another great tip. You don't have to bet on every single game being played.
That's
every
exactly,
single day.
that's words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Now we go to Arizona and Philly. Could you remind me what exactly happened to Philly? Oh, yes, they won, but they didn't cover last week.
Yeah, they looked mediocre.
Yeah.
But
Did you have money on that game?
Yeah, because I was gonna. Yeah, I liked Philly like you liked Philly last week.
Right. Well, I had money. It was a golden pick.
Yeah.
And we lost. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm coming right back at 10.5 and taking Philly, and just bringing the 10.5 down to 9.5 and saying, "Have a nice day." Philly needs. They don't need, but for me they do. With my money on the line, Philly minus 9.5, buying a point at 265 to make 250.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Eagles need it more. They need obviously. I mean, what the Cardinals need to win to get to 4 wins. They should get stomped, and the Eagles should handle this no problem. It's gonna be
I think Eagles win, but don't cover because of Arizona garbage points late.
Garbage points. Gotta love the garbage points.
So Philly doesn't cover.
Philly doesn't cover because of the late touchdown garbage points they give Arizona.
And in this case, that's the way the last game.
I mean, that's,
The last game, we thought they were going to cover while we were watching the game.
Yeah.
And they didn't cover.
was
But
like
in
8 or
this
12.
game, Philly will come out from the beginning to the end looking as a definite possibility for the Super Bowl, but they will not make the Super Bowl.
No.
Okay. The next two games I have no interest in, but you let me know. I know that we both are on no interest on Atlanta at Chicago.
Don't care. Yeah.
I'm not interested in this game, but you might be. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. I have no opinion.
New Orleans at Tampa Bay, huh?
It's -3 so Tampa Bay's -3. There's the numbers. People are saying that they're even teams. That both of them are even by that number.
This game decides the division.
Yep.
And yeah, I just don't have an opinion on who's better.
I'll give you two things.
Yeah.
And I'll cover it a little bit later when we get to the fantasy football portion. But you have Baker Mayfield, who's hungry. You have Derek Carr, who all of a sudden woke up, allegedly, apparently, who knows? They're both going to be playing hard. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's an easy one to kind of, but like he said, it's for the division.
This is a legit playoff game.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Baker Mayfield's just a little more reliable than Carr and the Saints, and I think that they win it. I think they cover the 3.5. I have it at 3.5 right now, but I think Tampa Bay, they're taking that game.
No, I picked the Saints to win the division at the beginning of the season, so you got
to stick.
I'm gonna stubbornly.
Well, they fought back to get here. They've caught a lot of riffraff the last.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr can light it up and win a game on his own.
Absolutely.
And, Kamara, they're good. It could go either way, but I'd say 55%. I take the Saints.
It's literally
That's on a deeper parlay one than my golden pick. That's like a bronze pick.
Maybe bronze pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next game we got is Carolina at Jacksonville. -7 Jacksonville.
Who's Carolina?
Panthers.
But they're still in the league.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the Hurricanes.
Yeah. Well,
they're good at hockey.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. No, Carolina Panthers, they're terrible. But they did win a game 2 weeks ago.
This game, I see Jacksonville winning. I just don't know if they're going to cover. I'm not touching the game. Your thoughts?
Same thing with the Saints. I picked the Jaguars to win the division at the start of the season. But Trevor Lawrence's injuries have just been driving me bonkers the last couple of months because you just never know who's going to show up, what team is going to show up. Is it going to be the Jaguars from the first month or two where they were just whooping people and looking like a Super Bowl contender, or the team that just stinks and just can't play against anybody? They lost to Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Those are legit teams that are probably going to go to the playoffs, but you got to win some of those if you're going to go to the playoffs.
You got to beat some of the tough teams.
Yeah. Long story short is I think the Jaguars still win even if they go back up, and Carolina is bad enough that they can cover the touchdown.
Yeah.
Now the total is 37.5. I'm 68.5% right in NFL unders. I've not taken an over the whole season. This is the game that I'm playing over on 37.5, Carolina, Jacksonville. I understand it looks like it's going to be a defensive game, and it's not going to be maybe the highest scoring game, but it is going to go over 37.5. That is a favorite pick of mine. I do like that one.
Neither team has a very good defense, so I think even those average offenses can put up a few points. So that seems like a solid pick.
Cool. Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore's -3.5. Interesting game. Baltimore Ravens come out, beat San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's looking hot. This is a very tough call on what could happen.
Letdown week for Baltimore. Miami takes it. I think so. I think Baltimore lets down their guard. I think the Miami shoots up there and puts up some points and sneak in there and surprise them. I'm gonna take the money line. Same thing with the college ones. I'm going to do money line single bet, and then I'll take the plus 3.5 points for any sort of parlays that I'm going to work together.
Okay.
I'm
not touching it.
I like the Dolphins. I was very impressed with them beating Dallas in a close game last week. They beat the bad teams, and they finally got that good win that I was talking about last week. They finally beat a good team, and I like them. I like my
concern with Miami going into this week. Obviously, his injuries. Mostert went out last week. Waddle went out last week.
But they get depth at those positions.
When Mostert came back in, though, I feel like he didn't. I don't know if they just shot him up with something to get him back out on the field to finish the game, but he didn't look the same.
No, he's
they rely on him a lot. They do have weapons, I agree, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll work with a team like Baltimore.
Okay.
I think it's at 3.5. If I would drop it to 2.5, I'd take Baltimore, and I'd actually keep it under 47. Again, I do know the weather doesn't look real great. It is a bit of a bold pick, but I don't know that I like Miami to go into Baltimore and take Baltimore. That's a lot to overcome. If Miami does that, shoot.
I'm not touching it. I'm not going to touch it. Our next game we got is Tennessee at Houston. Minus 3.5 last I looked for Houston.
4.5 for Houston.
So it's changed. Man, these numbers are changing differently.
Hourly.
Because Stroud is expected to practice today, which is Wednesday. We're recording on Wednesday this week. So CJ Stroud is looking like he might play, and that's a big difference for them because the last couple of weeks they put up not as many points, but before Stroud got hurt, they were really lighting up the scoreboard.
They were playing well.
Tennessee's not that good, so if Stroud plays, that's a good bet. I'd take Houston.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd do that ASAP because that line's just going to go up higher once Stroud gets cleared and announces he's going to be started. That's going to be 7 by the time the game starts. I bet.
Yeah, by Friday.
I'll piggyback on that bet and make a small single bet on Houston.
Yeah.
Minus 3.5. You're going to go, or what are you doing?
It's 4.5. I'll take.
So you're going to take it at 4.5.
Yeah, I'll take 4.5 on the expectations that Stroud.
So we'll all take that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we got New England at Buffalo. Before we talk of that game, could you remind me exactly what happened in that Buffalo game last week?
I can remind you because they look not great. They look super average, and
good word for it.
San Diego. I keep calling them San Diego. I just can't wrap my head around that. They're the Los Angeles Chargers.
Still doesn't sound right.
Years of calling them San Diego Chargers. Anyway.
Same thing with the Raiders.
They actually played like they meant it, and Buffalo made enough errors that they kept close. And
what was the final score on that?
24-22.
Right. And they didn't. Okay, yeah, I remember. I blocked that out of my mind. It made me sick because that was another
pick.
275 I lost. Well, I'm going back and taking Buffalo again.
Yeah.
Minus 11.5. Are we still at 11.5?
12.
Definitely. I'm going to bring it down to 11, put 275 straight up on...
but New England looks so good beating...
Right, that's all part of the
Broncos.
reason. No, that's all part of the reason.
Yeah, they can't win 2 in a row. It's not possible.
Well, anything's possible in gambling. But I'm taking Buffalo minus 11.5 to win. 275, or actually 265 to make 250.
All right. We finally get all.
And your thought?
Games. No, I agree. I like the Bills. Bills have been good all year, and they need to keep pace. They got the stranglehold on the wild card and the outside shot at the East. So
yeah, and to your point, it could be a good bet because people just watch New England beat Denver, so now they're like up on New England.
And what we're going to do for golden picks, by the way, instead of 3, we'll pick 4 if you don't mind.
That's fine. I also like the over on that one. 40.5 doesn't seem like that much,
That's
especially how New England has been putting up points,
yep.
even in losing causes. I mean, 21, 17, and 26 in their last 3 weeks. That's not setting the world on fire, but that holds up their end of the bargain.
They've also done it without their number 1 running back, Ramondre Stevenson. They've been using backups at a lot of positions. So if he comes back, if Ramondre's back, New England has there's another touchdown on the board because he will get one.
I like that one.
Okay, now our next game I don't like, but one of you might like it. Pittsburgh at Seattle. Seattle at last look was minus 3.5.
Yeah, that's where they are.
Yeah.
That Can't believe the Steelers won last week, by the way, and especially so. I mean, that made me. That was one of my picks that I sort of panicked into. But they looked good, and Cincinnati looked terrible. So I don't even know at this point. I'm gonna stay away from this one.
I'm just staying away from it.
The 3.5 points makes me think Pittsburgh, but they'll burn me. So bump that.
Because I have something to say about our next game.
Kind of flying high right now too.
So our next game is a special game. A special game because it brings pop culture, the beautiful world that we live in, and sports gambling into one situation. And that's Cincinnati at Kansas City. Last I looked was KC -7. Now, I would love to know what any of the public think about what I'm saying here. Is Taylor Swift a problem for Kansas City? Is it possible that because Taylor Swift is bigger than the NFL? Now, what does that mean? We're sports gamblers. I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I listen to Iron Maiden, AC/DC. Is Taylor Swift a big enough entity that she outdoes the NFL? Now, let's take that question. No, she's not bigger than the NFL. The NFL is worth more than $1 billion. But is her little boyfriend and his quarterback thinking to themselves at any point subconsciously during the game, and he puts his hat on because he doesn't want to be seen? I know I'm a controversial motherfucker, but here's the thing. She's bigger than the quarterback, and she's bigger than Kelsey. And are they possibly thinking about that subconsciously while they're playing and losing? I don't know. I'd love to hear you guys' opinion and the public's opinion. I'm just watching the show. I'm watching the show. What's your guys' opinions?
I have opinions too.
Here's my opinion. And I've been saying this for a long time, since the Swifties jumped into KC. Let's go back a little bit further. You got Mahomes, who's the face of the franchise, and then you got Kelsey, who's right there with him. You got Mahomes and his girlfriend, and they're getting all the TV coverage. As soon as Swifty shows up, now Mahomes' girlfriend isn't getting any TV time. So now they're fighting.
Well, I've
so
seen
now
them
Mahomes
together.
is arguing with Kelsey. I have too, Swifty and Mahomes' girlfriend, side by side in the box, appearing to have a great time.
Right.
But I think there's some beef between Mahomes and Kelsey in the locker room and off the field because of the girlfriends, that they're not syncing up like they should be. The energy's off. And I think that's been the way since Taylor showed up. It's not about Taylor Swift and it's about Mahomes and Kelsey trying to handle their girls' fame. I mean, Taylor Swift doesn't care.
Yeah.
She gets fame all the time, but Mahomes' girlfriend does. And every time they get in the car together, he's got to hear his girlfriend chirping at him about Kelsey and Swift and blah, 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 blah. And it's eating him up.
Now, that's his opinion. Of course, I'm trying to watch the show and figure out what my opinion is.
It's like a soap opera.
And you?
I think, maybe there's a little bit of that. I don't know. I can't get that deep into it. I think the NFL has just figured out that the Chiefs aren't that good.
Yeah.
And if you guard Travis Kelsey, you can stop their offense. And that's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
Because their wide receivers are terrible.
So someone
They're
finally
terrible.
learned how to stop Kelsey's what
Yeah,
you're saying.
their run game is average at best. If you double Kelsey, you can single everybody else and still load the box and stop the run, and you can stop them. That's my brain.
And here's the thing that I'm going to say. I'm watching the show. I'm going to figure it out. But what I can tell you is this: as a statistical money-making fact, the team that wins the Super Bowl does not come back as good. I don't remember a back-to-back Super Bowl since when?
It's probably since the Broncos.
Yeah,
in the
Broncos.
90s.
90, yeah.
And that's when we had a whole bunch of back-to-backs. No, didn't the Patriots do it?
I was going to say, I think the Patriots did.
But it's not common for them to
2000s.
play even close to as good. I think Kansas City is facing the same thing that all Super Bowl winners face. But the Taylor Swift thing is a very interesting fact. I do believe that Mr. Quarterback and Mr. Tight End question how great they are when they see the ultimate greatness of Taylor Swift. She's Unbelievable! Let's go on to our next game. And that would be
Go Broncos.
Chargers at Denver. And Denver's minus 5.5. And I have no opinion on Denver. I live in Denver. We all live in Denver. And you guys are Broncos-ish fans? Well, not
no.
you, Joel, but you
I
kind of have to be polite to people.
I don't dislike them.
Yeah, I don't dislike them. I just don't care. So, Mark, what do you have on this
It's
game?
at minus 3.5.
Broncos.
So, wait a minute. So, it went from 5.5. Yeah, it was at 5.
It's minus
Dude,
3.5.
it was at 5.5 as of this morning.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
at
Cortland Sutton injury maybe.
minus 3.5. Denver
That's a
minus
2-point
3.5.
change. I mean, my opinion is Chargers now. I mean, that line move of 2 has to mean something. But I'm not going to play it with any money. I reckon, you know.
Cortland Sutton's in concussion protocol.
Oh.
But it was 5.5 this morning.
Just this morning.
I thought so, unless I was that hungover.
Not impossible, I suppose. I don't. I think the Chargers played the best game of the year last week, and they're gonna lay a big old duck here in Denver on Sunday.
Denver comes back big.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
win.
I'm going to pass on the game. Green Bay at Minnesota. Minnesota minus 1.5.
13.
That's the Monday night game?
Sunday night, no Monday night game.
Right,
the
because
college
so
is
it's Sunday
doubleheader.
night. Right,
So
right,
it's
right.
Sunday night.
Okay, so Green Bay at Minnesota.
Oof, that's a tough one.
Yeah, division.
That's another one of those 50-50 things that I can
Yeah,
really
I'm not
talk
touching
myself into either way.
Yeah.
I liked Minnesota at the beginning of the season more than Green Bay, which is something. Maybe I'll give it 51% to Minnesota,
Yeah.
but I don't care for either.
I guess keep it simple. I like Green Bay's energy more than Minnesota right now. Love is playing good.
There you go.
It's not a big thing to cover for Green Bay to go into Minnesota. If it were Minnesota going into Green Bay, completely different story. But Green Bay and Minnesota, that's
I like Green Bay as the dog money line at what plus 125, 120. Yeah. So
yeah,
money
yeah.
line's 125.
yeah.
So it's on plus 125.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be time for our golden picks. And we're going to pick 4. Oh, not yet. Oh, yeah. We got, okay, fantasy football.
Just a few things. It's hopefully your it's championship week. This is it for most leagues.
Good luck, everybody.
So whoever
Good luck.
Good luck. Whoever you're playing, you already know who you're playing. If you're hitting a waiver wire this week, you're picking up people you're either starting or using to block your opponent from playing. So we're just going to go over a couple key waiver wire pickups. We don't need to get too much into it. Like I said, you already know who you're playing. But in case you've got to have somebody to plug and play right now, I'm going to give you some good plug and plays. So first off, for quarterbacks, again, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Chances are Baker Mayfield's out there. Chances are Derek Carr's out there. Either one of those guys is going to put up good points this week. I'd say anywhere between 17 to 20 points, solid. It's going to be a shootout game. I think either one, if you absolutely have to pick up somebody off the waiver wire, those two guys are good, two you're going to want to look at. Also, touching earlier, I said it before, you know I did. Joe Flacco, do not start him this week. No go for Flacco. I started with Flacco. I'm ending with Flacco. No go this week. But Tyrod Taylor for the New York Giants, if you can get him, another good one. They're desperate. They got some good wide receivers out there. Dewandell Johnson, what's his name? Dang it. I can't remember. I wrote it down somewhere. Dewandell Robinson? He's like their second string wide receiver. He's starting to come alive. Also Slayton, Darius Slayton looking really good. So Tyrod Taylor for quarterback. Okay, moving on to running backs now. Real quick, let's see. Clyde Edwards-Helaire for KC. He's going to get the ball a lot. If you absolutely need a running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's see, versus the Bengals. He put up 26 points, tons of touchdown chances last week, and the same thing. Also, if he's out there, probably not. Maybe Khalil Herbert Gus Edwards, again, all plug-in plays if you absolutely need to start a running back. Wide receivers, Demario Douglas, Greg Dortch, Darius Slayton, like I said earlier. Oh, Wendell Robinson. Wendell Robinson from the Giants, another plug-and-play. And KJ Osborne, if he's out there. If he's out there. Yeah, anybody from the Giants, really.
just go for the Giants.
Just go for the Giants. Yeah, it's kind of shaping up that way. Tight ends, I doubt he's out there, but Isaiah Likely, Tucker Kraft, Gerald Everett, maybe not out there, and Okonkwo. Okonkwo's really starting to come alive the last couple weeks. Projection for him is a little lower than I think he's going to go. I think Okonkwo could get into the mid 15 to 20 range this week. It's looking pretty good for him. Defenses, I doubt they're out there, but yeah, Cleveland's D. The Rams' defense versus the Giants. I don't love it. Again, I've been hyping up the Giants just because they're going to get a lot of points. I think they are going to put up points. They're not going to necessarily get to Stafford or get sacks or get picks, but points could be an issue. But again, if they're out there, and then Jacksonville versus Carolina. If Jacksonville's D is out there, they're a good pickup. Yeah. Other than that, good luck, make some money, and go Broncos.
Yeah. Okay, it's golden pick time. Let's pick 4 since there's more games. I'm going to start. I'll go with my 4 golden picks. If you were to bet these 4 games individually, and I'm going to hit 3 out of 4, 75%, you're going to make money. My first and greatest golden pick for the bowl games is Iowa over 36.5. Iowa at Tennessee. Right now it's 36.5. Am I correct at the present moment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we said.
Over 36.5 on that game. I like Philly in a pros. Philadelphia Eagles minus 10.5, bringing it down to 9.5. Carolina Jacksonville totals 37.5 over. Third pick. And my 4th pick is Buffalo minus 11.5, bringing it down to 9.5. Buying some points on that. You bet those, you hit 3 out of 4. Even if you're buying a few points, you're going to make money. And I'm going 3 out of 4 this week at 75%. And notice I don't claim to go 4 out of 4 because I'm here to make realistic money and help you guys make money. And next season, you're going to make money with us. Like us. Subscribe. Come on, help us out. Now, those are my 4 golden picks. What are yours, Joel?
I'll do 2 and 2, so I'll do 2 for college and 2 for pros. I like Ole Miss to cover against Penn State, 4.5 points. I think they cover that one. When in doubt, bet the SEC. Maybe I need to make like a little jingle about that one to throw in this later.
Swifty music.
Yeah, right. When in doubt, bet the SEC.
There you go.
And speaking of, we're going to go SEC with LSU minus 10. I think that's going to be a big win in the very prestigious Relia Quest Bowl.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. And then in the NFL, I like the Dolphins. I know these two don't. They're gonna cover that 3.5 points, right?
Well, I didn't pick Dallas as a favorite pick, a golden pick.
Yep, it's true. I mean, not everybody can be right every single time, like we said, but I think they cover. I think they win. I think they cover those to be safe. And then, I got to go back to my Niners. I didn't pick them last week because I was terribly uncomfortable for a reason. I never bet against the 49ers. I will only abstain from betting on the 49ers when I don't feel it. But this week I totally feel it. 2 touchdowns, easy peasy. They should blow out the Commanders and lock down not lock down, but move on the path to getting that number 1 seed. So that's my pick at minus 13.5. Go 49ers. Go McCaffrey. Go Purdy.
Let's hope Kansas City can get back on their feet, And let's hope the girls, Taylor Swift and Kelsey's little girlfriend, can get along and stop faking it in the booth for TV. They know when they're on camera. And
maybe it's because nobody knows.
That's why.
Mahomes' girlfriend's name, Brittany.
Brittany something.
I think it's
it's Britney something. Hey, it's Britney Spears? What is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Hey, this is Todd.
Joel?
Mark.
We ain't going to see you next week because we're on a trip, and it's a sick one. We'll tell you about it when we get back. But we'll be back the week after next. This is Gambler's Hub, and we are out of here.